Hi. I'm answering a question from Peaches, and I'm doing it with this insanely ridiculous filter, which I don't even know what to think of, because that's how I feel about the world right now. Who knows what to think? So Peaches asked this question, and it's basically for advice about how to approach the news of the Supreme Court potentially or likely getting rid of Roe v. Wade, how to stay balanced, and how to handle this. So the first thing I'll say is that, listen, this should feel terrible. This is terrible, and this should feel terrible. And there's really there's no way around that. And it is healthy and wise to feel your feelings and then to find actions that you can do that are in some ways progressive. And I say progressive, I mean like facilitating progress, right? By doing this, it is not a cure-all, but it is supportive. It's supportive to the world and therefore to your feelings about the world, right? This is awful. It's really scary and awful. But we are in the Pluto return of the United States. We're not even 6 months into it. And we should not be surprised. I mean, if you read the news, you shouldn't be surprised. Shocked, horrified, dismayed, yes. But surprised? This is the tip of the iceberg. Really, it's the tip of the iceberg. The Pluto return is a very big deal. And if you listen to episode 257 of the podcast, I talked about the Jupiter sextile to Pluto, which was exact today, actually Tuesday the 2nd, and it was just last night that it was leaked. And so what we can know from that is what I talked about on the podcast, which is that systems are functioning efficiently at this time. And the system was never set up to protect the rights or body autonomy of anyone but white cis men, white cis Christian men. That's the system. And that said, the person who leaked these papers, that's also the transit of Jupiter sextile to Pluto, because they were leaked papers to the free press. They were the truth, and they have bought us all a great deal of time where we can mobilize, organize, make noise. It's healthy and normal to feel despondent around this stuff. And also, there are resources and tools like, I think it's called 5calls.org, ResistBot. ResistBot, you just text the word resist to 50409. I'll put it in the comments or the description to the video. And you can just contact your senators, your legislators, federal and state, I think, and local, just by giving them your address. It's very simple. It's very easy and simple. I messaged through ResistBot my representatives today, and you know what? I'll share the description of what I said, whatever. It's like a very brief thing. Use it, copy and paste if you want. Use it as a springboard, edit it, make it better. It's not that good. It's just, sometimes when I feel blocked, it's helpful to have something as a starting point. So use that, Here's the thing, and I don't know if this is going to make it worse or better, but I'm a cactus. What do I know, right? But terrible things, unjust things happen every single day, all over the world, always. Life is not fair. The world is not fair. This is not trying to make you feel better, obviously, but it's important to recognize that when oppression happens, when there's an attack that happens to people's civil liberties, you gotta find a way to stand up, fight back, as the slogan goes, right? And that means, honestly, sometimes you gotta nap, sometimes you gotta cry, sometimes you gotta gnash your teeth or get angry or get petty or get distracted. fine. You just don't want to lose yourself in those places, because each and every one of us are here for a reason, and there is something you can do. Whether, if you're an organizer, then you don't need my fucking advice. You know that there's so much to be done on that realm. But there's also, like I said, using one of those tools, you can tweet at representatives, because I think it's kind of fucked up that they listen to that, but they do because it's in public. So you can use that as a resource, right? Social media to at people, especially if you have a blue check mark. If you have a blue check mark on any platform, your content rises and has more weight to people who are not really wanting to listen to you. So use your blue check mark. And, if you are a cis man, gay, straight, whatever, if you're a cis man, this is your time to shine, honey. Make noise. Use your power. Use your social capital. Even if you don't feel like you have any, you're a cis man, you're a cis white man, you do. Use it. Use it. There's so many ways that we have privileges and power. And everyone has some measure of privilege or power. Some of us a lot less than others. Some of us a lot more than others. Use what you got. Use what you got. You got cash, throw ducats at something. You got a platform, use that. Whatever you can do, use it. And you don't need to figure this out. I'm certainly not going to figure it out all on my own. There are activists who have been working for abortion rights and who specialize in body autonomy and legislation, all that kind of stuff, that we find the activist that you can get behind, fall in line and do what they encourage you to do. There are so many ways to be engaged. There are so many ways to be activated. And it's really important that we don't become so demoralized that we don't do those things, right? And of course, that's what they want. And not to make it worse, but watch me. I'm a triple Capricorn. A town in Kansas is making it illegal to have roommates. What do you think that's about? Making it illegal to have roommates. It's an attack on poor people. It's an attack on women, so that women can't live alone. Is that so? Women have to live alone, or we have to live with a man? What? Wait, what? It's an attack on queers. I mean, in this country, you have to know that we are in a state of massive backslide with civil liberties, and that is a major concern for all trans and non-binary folks, for people of color, for poor people, and yes, for women, and that includes white women. Here we are. And even if you don't read the news or consume news or whatever, if you've been listening to Ghost of a Podcast, I've been trying to warn you, the Pluto return is happening, and it's no joke. And, it's just a rough time. So the other part of my advice is to pace yourself, because this is a long road. We're less than 6 months into this transit. I think I said that already, but it's worth repeating. And it's 2 years where it's off and on in exactitude. And for these larger transits, we're in this phase for a 16-degree orb. So we got some years in front of us of this. This is not chill, and it's not going to get better. I don't think voting on its own is the answer. It doesn't do enough. I don't think protesting on its own is the answer. It doesn't do enough. We need all the things. And so, I don't know. We got to be involved. We got to get engaged, and kind of associated with that, make sure that that you're voting in local elections, that who represents you, and that you're up their ass, basically. Because in politics, most people's jobs are not tenured, right? They get reelected or not. So those are things you can do in the short term. And hopefully there are activists and people who are much smarter, more educated, more in the field than I am, who you can turn to for actionable steps. But for now, it's Pluto. And it's here to confront us with our shadow as a nation. And as we all know, this nation loves to talk about freedom for everybody, but it's really for cis, white, straight, Christian men, right? Okay, so that's not fair. It's never been fair. What are we going to do about it? Me? We're not going to do anything as individuals, but as a community, as a collective, we are the majority. We're the fucking majority. We're not represented as the majority in the power structures economically or politically, but we're the majority. So again, aligning with that energetically, spiritually, emotionally, can help empower you to do the physical and psychological work necessary to bring about change, to do your part, just whatever small part you can. I hope that's helpful. I'm not sure how much help it is, but I hope it's helpful. I'm a cactus, and life is hard. Bye.